These are the games of the final match day of the group stage of FIFA World Cup 1958. Argentina took the lead after 2 games but still has to face the 1954 world champion West Germany today, while Czechoslovakia plays Northern Ireland and still hopes to get their ticket to the quarterfinals. In Group 2, Paraguay and Yugoslavia meet directly in the decisive match. France will take the opportunity to let some of their key players rest, while Scotland would like to say goodbye with a positive result. In Group 3, Mexico is already out, but for the 3 other teams it's still all or nothing. Can Sweden handle the pressure in front of their fans? Last but not least, we have Group 4. Brazil plays Austria and wants to secure the top spot in the group, while Soviet Union and England play for the last remaining spot in the knockout stage. Over the years, Argentina versus Germany has become a true classic of world football. Today's group match in 1958 was the very first meeting between the 2 nations at a World Cup. Yugoslavia opened the scoring after just 1 minute and was unstoppable for the Argentines throughout the match. The top striker from Hamburg repeatedly creates chances in promising positions. This time, however, Argentina's goalkeeper was able to prevent a goal. Shortly afterwards, Oswaldo Cruz is alone in front of the German goal, but misses the big chance to equalize. As in the 2 previous games, Argentina start with a very courageous approach and, as a result, leave a lot of space for the German players. Uwe Seeler converts this attack via the left flank with his specialty, the precise and powerful header, 2-0 for the German team. But it gets worse for the South Americans as Seeler completes his hat-trick in the 35th minute. The Argentinians needed the halftime break, and they start the second half with renewed courage. But this courageous effort by Stoltenberg prevents a certain goal. Shortly afterwards, however, Menendez is completely free and can score to make it 1-3. Argentina regain hope. But once again, Seeler has an answer. 4 goals in 1 game for the 21-year-old striker, who has now scored 6 goals in the tournament. But the Albiceleste don't let it get them down. Avio fails at first, but Menendez is able to score to make it 2-4 and give his team some hope after all. With this determined and risky effort, Carrizo is able to prevent another goal from Seeler. The South Americans continue to attack the German goal, but the decision-making of their players is not always the best. Again, Argentina show their technical prowess and combine wonderfully through the German backline. Lebruna appears completely free in front of the goal and has a great chance to make it 3-4 but misses miserably. But Nestor Rossi does better shortly afterwards. The midfielder heads the ball into the goal to reduce the deficit. And there was still just over 10 minutes left to crown the comeback with the equalizer. After Lebruna's corner kick, Avio gets a header but misses the goal. The South Americans continue to attack relentlessly, and the German team can now only rarely break free from their grip. By now, injury time is running out, and with a sense of desperation, the team of coach Guillermo Stabile, the top scorer at the very first World Cup in 1930, is attacking again. But in the end, their efforts were in vain. Uwe Seeler makes the difference, and Argentina now need help from Northern Ireland to reach the quarterfinals. And Northern Ireland seem determined to play their part. Portsmouth striker Derek Dougan puts his team ahead in the 9th minute. And after 23 minutes, he almost scored another goal. But this fantastic save from Imrich Stacho prevents his brace. In the first half, it looked at times as if the Northern Ireland still had a chance of progressing, and the Czechoslovakians had already been eliminated. With their carefree performance, they put their opponents under pressure and remained dangerous, especially after corner kicks. But after a little more than half an hour, the Eastern Europeans show that they have understood what is at stake. Gajdos's header makes it 1-1. Then Newcastle United's Tommy Casey runs alone towards the goal and has a great chance to make many friends in Argentina. But not for the first time in this tournament, goalkeeper Stacho saves his team. Czechoslovakia continue to struggle, and so Moravcik has to take matters into his own hands in minute 68. But Northern Ireland's goalkeeper isn't having a bad game today either. We have now reached stoppage time. In the parallel match, Germany still lead 4-3, and as long as the score remains 1-1, that would be enough for the reigning world champions and the Albiceleste. Northern Ireland put up a good fight, but Anton Moravcik's precise shot in literally the last second ensures his team's progress. West Germany wins the group and soon knows their opponent in the quarterfinals, while Czechoslovakia will meet France. Without some of their best players, France, one of the best teams in the tournament so far, put in a poor performance. Scotland are determined to finish the tournament on a high and take a deserved lead with this goal from Imlach. Cowie's header decides the game. The French will be able to cope with it. In the quarterfinals, however, the Equipe Tricolore will have to improve again to avoid an unpleasant surprise. Yugoslavia needs a win over Paraguay, but Cayetano Rey has the best chance so far with this header. Yugoslavia struggled to create real scoring chances throughout the whole tournament, but then this harsh decision by the referee means that they have an advantage for the remaining time of the game. But even after the red card, Yugoslavia had great difficulty creating scoring chances, and as in the two previous games, lacked the necessary punch in attack, so that the South Americans were never embarrassed in defense. In the end, they managed to get the result over time without any major upsets, and thus qualified for the quarterfinals, where Western Germany are waiting for them. Despite the defeat, France wins Group 2. Paraguay's Uranio is enough for second place. Yugoslavia only finishes third, and for the Scots, the win in the last game is at least a small consolation. Bror Mellberg from AIK Solna is the hero of the Swedish national team in their final group match against the already eliminated Mexicans. The striker scores in the 3rd minute to give the hosts the lead. So far in the tournament, Mellberg has only had a place on the substitutes bench, but after today's performance, his chances of making the starting 11 in the quarterfinals are likely to have increased considerably. In the 5th minute, he scores his 2nd goal of the day after this counterattack. Whatever Mellberg touches on this day turns to gold. He scores a flawless hat-trick in the 12th minute after an assist from Lidholm. For a long time, it looked as if the teams were going to get the result over time, but the Mexicans didn't want to see them off without a fight. Now that Sweden seemed to have switched off, they score their first goal of the day to make it 1-3. The English coach George Rayner wants to give the fans in Malmö something more and has brought in Kurt Hamrin. The striker from Padova is able to take a penalty straight away. Lidholm converts safely to make it 4-1. In the end, nobody in Sweden is bothered by the fact that Carlos Calderón is allowed to score the 2-4 for Mexico. The host team qualifies confidently for the quarterfinals and now awaits its opponent. Wales and Hungary will now play off for second place in the quarterfinals. While a draw would be enough for Hungary, Wales absolutely need a win, and that's how they get started. Hungary's top scorer Taichi is free in front of goal, but fails to beat Arsenal goalkeeper Jack Kelsey. Grosix prevents the possible second goal here. The tournament is extremely high-scoring overall, but that doesn't mean we don't see some very good goalkeeping performances. Kelsey prevents a certain equalizer here in a 1v1 with Fenevici. Hungary's left winger Sandor is one of his team's best players in the tournament. After his cross is cleared, he takes matters into his own hands and makes it 1-1. This would qualify Hungary, but the result doesn't last long. Sullivan puts Wales back in the lead a short time later. After losing many of their star players, the Hungarian team can no longer be compared to the team that performed so strongly in 1954 and then surprisingly lost the final against the German team in Bern. Hewitt scores the 3-1 that qualifies Wales for the next round. For Hungary, the tournament already ends after the group stage. These are the final standings in Group 3 after the final match day. Sweden and Wales will now find out who they will play against in the quarterfinals. Austria make life more difficult than expected for Brazil in their final group game. In the 57th minute, they are even allowed to celebrate a goal that should have given them the lead, but Buzek is offside. Pele seems unstoppable for his opponents. After his solo, only the crossbar can prevent the goal. But because the Austrians fail to clear the ball, Garrincha has the chance and takes the lead. With Pele's assist, striker Altafini makes it 2-0 for the South Americans, which is also the final score. Not even Pell could change the result. First, his powerful free kick is saved. Shortly before the end, the man from FC Santos has to be substituted due to injury. Only victory counts for the Soviet Union against England. Ilian has the first chance of the game but misses the target. Wolverhampton Wanderers midfielder Peter Broadbent does much better at the other end, beating Yashin with this precise shot. And a short time later, it's Broadbent again, this time completely freestanding with his head. Salnikov manages to reduce the score, but the English team take the result home and secure the last place in the quarterfinals. Brazil can celebrate winning the group, but must worry about Pele. England is now looking forward to the match against the hosts. The quarterfinals have now been decided. West Germany is the clear favorite against Paraguay. Host Sweden can count on the support of their fans against England. However, this is likely to be the most evenly matched of the four fixtures. France, led by Stars Fontaine and Copa, sometimes seem too sure of themselves in the group stage. Can Czechoslovakia spring a surprise? With or without Pelé, the whole of Brazil expects a win against Wales. Here's another look at the tournament table, showing the possible semi-final matches. But first, of course, there are the quarterfinals to be played. With his great performance against Argentina, Seeler has taken the lead in the goal scorer ranking after the group stage. With 4 assists in 3 games, Corbata was one of the best players of Argentina, but has to watch the rest of the tournament with his team being out already. The group stage of the 1958 World Cup has come to an end, and we have seen many high-scoring matches. Thank you for your attention. In the next episode, we will continue with the quarterfinals.